Failed Arizona Republican gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake is panicking and deleting tweets. When I imagine someone deleting tweets, even if they're doing it on their phone, I imagine them feverishly typing on a keyboard, but that may not be the case. She is panicking and deleting tweets attacking a judge after sanctions have been demanded. So let's back it up and kind of explain all of it. Kari Lake lost the Arizona gubernatorial election. And what I mean by lost is her opponent, Katie Hobbs, got more votes because more people voted for Katie Hobbs, which means Katie Hobbs will be the governor. Very simple and yet so complicated. Okay, she won, Kari Lake lost. Kari Lake sues, claiming really she won. Her lawsuit was thrown out. And now she's just getting herself into more and more trouble. The Hill reports Lake deletes tweet targeting Maricopa judge after officials seek sanctions. Defeated Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake deleted a tweet accusing the judge who dismissed her election challenge of integrity violations. The tweet, posted early Monday, suggested the founding partner of a law firm representing Katie Hobbs emailed Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Peter Thompson what to say as he authored the dismissal. That's an extremely serious charge to make against the judge. That someone wrote to him and said, here's your marching orders. Here's what decision you will make in court. Quote, the dismissal of Kari Lake's election lawsuit shows voter disenfranchisement no longer matters. This is her tweet. Legal experts believe his decision was ghostwritten. They suspect top left-wing attorneys like Mark Elias emailed him what to say. Maricopa County and Hobbs, in their capacities as Secretary of State and Governor-elect, cited the tweet in asking the judge to impose sanctions on Lake as well as on her attorneys, arguing that Lake's campaign's broader election challenge was groundless and constituted harassment. So what is it that is going on here? She is an annoyance, yes, but she is an annoyance to a degree that may actually deserve legal sanctions. And so she's panicking, and so now she's deleting the tweet. Now, as much as I would love to see serious sanctions against Kari Lake, you know, the right loves to talk about frivolous lawsuits. Oh, the coffee was too hot. Turns out that was actually a lawsuit that had some merit if you actually learn about it. Oh, someone said Merry Christmas to me and I'm offended. I don't know of any lawsuit like that, but this is the caricature of the right and the so-called frivolous lawsuits they believe the left is engaged in, even though we have many systems in place to dismiss frivolous lawsuits. But it is actually they who have no hesitation. They have no qualms whatsoever gumming up the legal system after 2020 with more than 60 different complaints in all sorts of different jurisdictions for nothing. For nothing. Trump lost. That's all that happened. And similarly, Kari Lake raising money, filing lawsuits, hiring lawyers, bringing in experts, taking up court time for something that is obviously meritless and is, of course, going absolutely nowhere. And now they're panicking that they might be sanctioned. If there is any good news for Kari Lake, and this sort of bugs me, but it is what's going on, it's not really clear that she is going to face those sanctions. Fox News reports Arizona judge denies request for sanctions against Lake and rewards a $33,000 reimbursement. An Arizona judge denied a request from Governor-elect Katie Hobbs seeking sanctions against Kari Lake. Though the sanctions were denied, the judge did award Hobbs a little more than $33,000 to cover costs associated with retaining expert witnesses during a two-day trial brought on by Lake, challenging those results. Lake lost her bid by 0.5 percentage point, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so at least in this first finding, a judge is not issuing sanctions against Kari Lake. What you have to understand here is that there is a mishmash of political stuff, for lack of, that's a technical term, going on in Arizona, which includes right-thinking and clear-minded people who see the entire Kari Lake fiasco for what it is. Terrible candidate, lost, panicked, is embarrassed, and is trying to sue anyone she can. But you also see some judges in Arizona that are running a little bit of interference for Kari Lake, saying, listen, we believe she sincerely believed that she won. And if Kari Lake sincerely believed she won, then most of her actions are acceptable in the eyes of the law. It's sort of like covering for a toddler's temper tantrum, arguing this particular one was justified, and thus everything they did and all of the sequelae that resulted from that tantrum are okay, and we shouldn't be too harsh as a result. How can someone like Kari Lake be considered a good candidate to lead anything in government, whether it's being the administrator of a state like Arizona or whatever, when she can't even control her own impulses on Twitter, such that they start getting her into potential legal trouble, and then she has to run and delete the tweets? But it doesn't really matter. That's really been Republicans for the last 6 years. Who are the worst people we could possibly find to do the jobs that are needed? Let's make them our nominees. Many of my lawyer friends, especially those that do criminal defense, say that it is really, really common that their clients just can't stop talking, or they won't stop talking, either to the media or recently in the modern era, more often social media posts. And to some degree, that seems to be what's going on here with Kari Lake. Let's hope she does face sanctions. Let's hope her attorneys do as well.